This is Has Boy beat.
Welcome back, everybody, to a new live edition of the Wisemen Say podcast. Ty Fisher alongside Jerald, Lucas, Derik, Abbott. As you guys notice, those two have cameras. I don't, because mine likes to act up. So you're just going to get my voice today. Fellas, it is Wednesday. I would say a wacky Wednesday, given all things considered, right?
Lot of stuff.
How are we doing today?
I'm doing peachy.
I was literally about to say peachy.
Too slow there.
I know, you beat me to it. Peachy. Likewise, 2 peaches.
Peachy Keen, living the dream. Fun
There we
fact,
go.
that was the name of a drink at BD's Mongolian Grill. I don't know if they still have it. Peachy Keen.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it was like a seasonal thing.
Place.
It's forgettable. Trust me, you're not missing much.
I think I'd only ever gone to it once when it was in the Arena District, honestly.
That's one time too many. So, short, sweet episode as Jerek. Wow, my word, guys. 15 hours Monday, Tuesday, and Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday is just not fun. By the way, so. I'm exhausted. Oh my god, I'm beat to death. So, that's not even 15 hours, but like Sunday, it's just been busy. Quite honestly,
that time of the year, especially, you probably got a lot of work, Christmas extravaganzas going on there.
Lots of holiday parties, lots of corporate parties, events. Yeah, it's just busy. But hey, we got through it. We have a day off tomorrow. Yippee.
There you go.
So yeah, other than that, I mean, let's get cracking on with some MLS offseason moves. I think the biggest one, right? Dane St. Clair to enter Miami. I just don't understand how these guys are getting away with this.
I don't know. I think that one, I would have to say, honestly, Tyberibo is a bigger one than Dane St. Clair. Matter of fact, let's just say the whole Philadelphia Union just clearing house is a big. You get rid of Jacob Glesnes, send him out. Where was it? Out west somewhere.
LA, I think. Galaxy. Does that sound right?
Yeah, to the Galaxy. Then, you send Tyberibo to DC United. Like, who are they planning to bring in? Neymar or somebody?
Not to Philly.
You never know. Possible is an opinion, okay? Unless you're a Celtic fan, then you don't believe in that.
That is true. Yeah, I think I did see that St. Clair in particular. I think it was Tom Bogart or somebody said that he actually turned down multi-million dollars to take less to go to Miami. But still, it's like, of course.
It was only a 7-figure offer to go play, with Miami.
I mean, only.
Yeah, only, right?
That's one of those bummers because it's not like the league set it up for him to go there or anything. Like, he clearly chose to do that ultimately. But it definitely, I was thinking about when I first read it, one of the first things that came to my mind is like, it slowly feels like Miami could become the Yankees of MLS. Where like,
I don't see it, no.
I think for current, in terms of like the people want to go play there because Messi's there and now they've
He's
won
got 1 year left.
I'm not disagreeing with you on that. I totally get that. I just think it's
Who's
like
the
the flavor of
so?
the month type thing where you're just like, gotta get it, gotta get there.
Well, let me ask you this then. Once he's done, who the hell's coming to Miami?
I don't disagree.
Kylian Mbappe?
I think they're gonna go try to get Neymar. Or they're gonna try to replicate it, I think. When Messi leaves, they're gonna go try to get another big name that's willing to come over here because maybe they're a little bit further along in their career. I think they're gonna try to do that. And I can't it's hard to say because like I can't say I fault them in terms of like a lot of what MLS was built on back when you had what's his name? Was it Steven Gerrard? I mean, he was here for Galaxy, I think, right? Who's the other one I'm thinking of from Liverpool? Oh, I'm blanking on his name.
Fuck if I know.
Maybe that's
Liverpool.
I don't know, but you know what I mean? Like that David Beckham, like some of the league was predicated on that for a hot second. And so I can see Miami now trying to replicate that a little bit as opposed to going more of a traditional MLS route where you just build up your team by getting good players both here and abroad. But yeah, I mean, to your point, I agree. I think it's not sustainable long term, most likely, because it doesn't feel like they're building a lot around all of these players that kind of fit the same mold. And like they're bringing back Suarez again, and it's like, okay,
Suarez said he can spit and bite and
yeah, be the villain.
fight people.
But I mean, his productivity was tailing off to a point where it's like if they're going to offer it to him, of course he's going to say, yeah, why not? If he's already kind of comfortable in his surroundings there. But I don't know what the market looked like outside of Miami either. But it's these kind of bigger names. I think they want to be more of an attraction. Of course, right now with Messi, you win a championship. But like to your point, do we think that's going to be long term once he leaves? I think unless they go get another megastar to do it, it's going to be a little hard to do to get that and make it sustainable. But I don't know. It'll be a good case study for sure. Because yeah, he's not. I mean, he's not going to be around that much longer. And I saw an article today where somebody at Barcelona was talking about if they could potentially get him back for one final run and or whatever it is and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh my gosh. It further proves my stance has always been I did not think we should tether our league to one team or one individual. However, they chose to go that route. So it'll be interesting to see from that. But clearly it's helping them get, some good MLS guys that are willing to take less to go there, apparently.
And they might be taking less, but they're not walking out with what their contract is with the way Florida tax is, and especially living down there in Dade, Dade County.
Yeah. When you live down in Miami-Dade, yeah, you want a big house or something like that. I mean, you're paying for it. And lest we forget things like property, like homeowners insurance and different things like that goes on down there. So
you gotta have property insurance. You gotta have hurricane insurance, gator insurance.
Gator, yeah, true.
I mean, but it's just like seriously, like I'm happy he's going to a contending team, but Eric Ramsey took over of Minnesota United and made them a contender.
Yeah, and that was pre-Mueller even.
Yeah, and so it's like with Minnesota, it's like I think he was tired of the cold. I mean, he's Canadian. You shouldn't be tired of cold, but hey,
saw an opportunity.
What do I know, right?
Saw an opportunity to be able to lounge on the beach on his days off. I mean, who amongst us wouldn't like that opportunity, I guess?
I mean, I don't know. To me, it's just I'm happy for him.
He'll get more of a spotlight. He'll get more of a shine because he plays on a bigger team.
And
perceivably.
another team right now that's making moves, Red Bulls.
Yep.
You know, they shipped out Lewis Morgan to San Diego, and then they bring in Cade Cow, which I like the move. It's a nice move for Red Bulls bringing in Cade Cow, but should have brought in a different head coach because the whole stadium's going to be booing the whole game.
Yeah. That's when you may think about bringing if you had a Vuvuzela from a few World Cups ago, it might be time to dust that thing off and bring it in with you or buy a new one, because it's going to be a heck of a lot better to just do that than boo the entire time, because you're going to have a sore throat the next morning, because there's going to be a lot of booing going on when he rolls into town sometime next year.
Yep. And I'm surprised Columbus hasn't made any noise right now.
Mm-hmm.
But without having a head coach, how can you make noise?
Yeah.
And I saw somebody said the timeline between Porter to Nancy was 57 days. Well, that was, we didn't make it out of middle of October.
Right.
So we had about a month and a half to look for a head coach. This time we didn't, it was what? Playoffs started end of October, first part of November. You know what I'm saying? And so here we are, 30 days or whatever, not even 30 days.
Mm-hmm.
Since it's been what, 15 days? Something like that, 16 days since Nazi left. So, I mean, I get Issa when he said that he wants to, make the right decision. But when you have a candidate get poached by a former assistant GM for the Columbus Crew and Corey Ray getting Yoann Damet, I'm happy that he's a head coach now. But also at the same time, who the hell else is Corey Ray going after on Columbus?
Yeah.
Is he going after Patrick to bring him home? I know Ty's sitting there shaking his head even though we can't see him.
I mean, I think it feels like they're not going to be willing to make any moves, both bringing people in or jettisoning people out via trade, without having a head coach in place at this point. But I think it is very interesting that, like you mentioned, like someone coming from the Crew, obviously someone in-house. So like realistically, that should have been one of the first people that they interviewed. But even as we see all these other things happen, in my opinion, and I could be wrong, just depends on like where my algorithm falls, but like it feels like the only person who's done any kind of real reporting when it comes to who the Crew may be looking at in timelines and stuff is Chris Doran, who I love Chris Doran. He's our radio guy, and like none of these other none of these other entities are even floating around like possibilities of names or rumors or any kind of real conversation for it. So a lot of conversation has been all locally here in terms of like who even realistically looking at. And so I think it's just interesting. Not that I feel like there has to be rumors all the time, but like I don't remember when we got Nancy, it felt like everybody kind of going into that period of time had it pretty like wanted him and like was talking about him pretty much immediately after Porter got fired, because you had just heard about how bad of a situation that was there and how good of a coach he was. And even when Porter got hired, I remember there were a lot of rumors already about him, Scalotto, like a few others. Like those were relatively persistent in one way or another. But right now it's just like dead silent, which is good on the front office for being able to keep everything in house primarily, but also makes a lot of people just wonder what the heck is going on here.
I mean, full send it, make Frankie the head coach.
That would, as much as I love Frankie, that would not be. If we're gonna do that, then I want Pipa to be the head coach for sure, and that's not gonna happen either. So
I mean, GBS is another, candidate that could be out there.
he did.
Or what about even David Ancelotti? He's not coming back. They're not renewing his contract. So, I mean, as Ty would say, that might be a fever dream.
Who?
David Ancelotti.
Who's that?
From Boca.
Yeah, I don't pay attention to the Argentine league.
Would be
except for San Lorenzo. You said what?
I just said it would be interesting. I mean, I'm sure he has a little bit better of like a understanding of MLS now after the past few years.
Possibly.
I mean, I wouldn't say that's a fever dream. That's realistic, but when I say fever dream, I'm thinking big names, right? I'm thinking
like Klopp.
Yeah, Jurgen Klopp, Sir Alex Ferguson, Carlo Ancelotti, Zidane, all these guys that have multiple years of European football under their belt and would be the first ones to stick their nose up when an offer from MLS arrives, right? Here's my thinking, right? I say the Columbus Crew. Excuse me. I say the Columbus Crew go for Martin O'Neill.
Remind me who that is again.
Celtics former coach.
Oh, that's right. You did say that.
Yeah. I mean, hey.
You know what? Way to
You're not the only one.
Oh, it would cause quite a stir, but I'm sure, like, if nothing else, I feel like a lot of Crew fans who have seen, if you've been on the internet in any kind of capacity, I'm sure you've seen how their fans are reacting about Nancy and everything so far. That like, just like from
sound like Blue Jacket fans.
For lack of a better term, like a shithead thing to do is to like cheer on us then getting their guy that they didn't want or, were quick to jettison out of there. And then they got our guy and we're like, well, we got yours now. So thank you. And we'll be happy with him, I'm sure, unless I get it, lose it 4 games. But I mean, we talked about this last week that he's in the middle of a season. Like, I don't know how any coach is realistically going to have that level of success going into it in the middle of a season. And also, like, he may not have any of the type of quality players that he values in his system, frankly. I mean, I was looking at stats about it. I think they have like 1 goal in the past 4 games or something like that. Like, I think there's a lot more to it than just the coach trying to implement a style, frankly.
I've been in contact with a person who covers Celtic, right? And I guess I could say a source that's covered Celtic, right? Mm-hmm. Hang on here. Let me see. Okay, so I messaged him, or he messaged me about the Twitter account, right?
The Nancy one?
Yes. Yeah. I think it's him. I think it's actually him.
I think there was something that said today that he said that it was his.
Yeah, because
Okay, I thought I saw that. He admitted it was his, which
he
looked at it like last week, right when we were talking about it, and I was like, I can't tell, honestly.
Yeah.
It felt like an account that was so rarely used, but also almost felt like it was like one of those burner like fake ones that somebody creates.
But see, the thing, if it was if it happened to be a burner, right? It's so good making the official MLS account follow it.
I know, yes,
right?
That's what had me very confused because I was like, they had a lot of official ones on there,
and Montreal,
mm-hmm.
and a couple of Crew workers, right? That's what got me. And so I listened to that clip today. I was on my way home. Excuse me. I listened to that clip, and he said it was a picture of him standing in the Columbus locker room. That was the picture. That was the profile picture before this whole thing. I promise you it was. Yeah.
I forgot about that. You are right.
I promise you it was. And now the account is on private. The account is locked, right?
Somebody who knows their PR department got a hold of it and said, "Let us fix this for you.
Oh my God, yeah.
This." That's what it feels like.
So was talking to him about, everything, and whatnot. He wrote me, Stephen McGowan, who was one of the most reliable journos when it comes to Scottish football, said this: credible sources speak of unease amongst players unimpressed by the new regime and the training. And then an article. You talk a little bit more. He sends me a video of scenes outside of Celtic Park.
I saw that. Was that at night when they were like yelling at the offices? Yeah, I saw that too.
So I said, general question here: is the board in shambles because of the Nazi signing and not keeping Martin O'Neill, or is it the club just being poorly run like Glazers and United? He said it's similar to the Man U to the outsiders. It's been bubbling in the background for years, but came to a head this summer. Top scorer left in January, wasn't replaced. Couple wingers left, weren't replaced also. Fans expected Rodgers to get back to the summer and kick on in Europe. Celtic didn't qualify for Champions League. Fans have been banned too. A whole lot of like stuff. And it's crazy to think that Wilfried has gone from MLS to SPFL, but I feel like his resume backs him to be a great manager, right? But the expectations of one of the most decorated clubs in European football is like top tier, right? But we also have to think of, let's look at the first few games under Nancy, right? And it took a couple weeks for things to kind of click, and we ended up winning MLS Cup that year. 25, 24, 23. Okay, maybe not. Maybe it was just a game. Yeah, but I mean, 4-1 loss, 2-0 win, 1-1 draw, 2-1 loss, 6-1 win, 4-0 win. Okay, yeah, maybe it did. But you see where I'm going with this, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, 4 games is kind of not enough, in my opinion, to warrant a sack warning, right? Because you get dealt. It's like drawing one of the worst hands in poker, right? It's like drawing the worst hand in poker, and you just know you can't win. So it's crazy to me how we're all looking at this like, damn, and we thought we were bad as fans.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, these guys have it. These guys take the cake.
Man, go ahead, Jerald.
I don't even know what to say on that one.
It's just crazy work. It's just like,
it's baffling, but it to me it seems like their board is almost like how Columbus was last year, right? And if you look at it, Pucho leaves, Christian leaves in January to start the season. Like, yes, we had been looking at Abu Ali for some months, but there should have been a backup plan if we couldn't get him in here in January, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there wasn't. So then the pressure came, February, March, April, here comes Gazda. And I think the pressure was put on him to be that bridge player, but it's kind of hard to be, a bridge when you've been playing one system for so many years, and now you're expected to pick up Nazi's system immediately. So I mean, it's like I feel for some of the fans over there. Don't get me wrong. I felt for our fans too. But also at the same time, you got to know that there's reasonable expectations, and then there's the lunatic expectations. And right now, it just seems like everyone over there in Scotland is operating on lunatic expectations. With you're in middle of the season with a new head coach. Nazi didn't want to leave Columbus middle of the season, and respect to that. I respect him for that, but also at the same time, Issa should have been like, hey, if you want to go and you want to go make your mark, don't go in the middle of a season. We'll have a replacement ready for when you go in the summer. So I mean, we'll bring him on as an assistant, and then once you leave, he'll take over.
I don't know how well that would have went. I think you would have had if that would have been the case, I think you would have had a lot of really annoyed fans at the front office, which even last year with that and not performance on the field, people weren't thrilled with them. That I think you jeopardize people turning on the front office for allowing that. And I think
they already have turned on the front office for little shit.
Oh no, I don't disagree. I'm down with that. I totally read all those comments and stuff too. But I mean, even like the goodwill of Nancy, I mean, yes, we've won a lot with him, but if he were to just be like middle of the season, it'd be unprecedented if they announced that in the middle of the season he's leaving ahead of time. Like they announced this is his last season. He's leaving after this. Like that's one thing after this season. But if you announce it ahead of time in the middle of the season, you're gonna have you're just setting up for it's gonna be bad. And then if he up and leaves, that makes his reputation with the club also look really bad. And maybe to some others, because some other people in the future or even in other leagues may not respect that somebody's doing that. But I don't know how often this happens. I mean, I guess coaches get sacked in the middle of the season in other leagues as well, but I don't know how often they go and pluck somebody. I mean, our season was over, so from that standpoint, I guess it's not the craziest thing, but he wasn't out of contract, so they had to get him via a contract discussion and money swap or whatever ended up happening with that. But I mean, I don't feel like that's super common though, right? And maybe it's just because we're on a different calendar than everyone else, which I don't want to get into that conversation because that's for another day. But maybe that's more of the difference. But I think overall, like I almost think to like the educational standpoint of our fans when we got him, nobody really judged him based off of the first performance, that first game. And sure,
yes,
maybe
they did.
Well,
I say I agree with Jerald, but only because of how the first game came about, right?
With like how it all the end result
with Aloy Room being suspended or whatever because of the contraband or whatnot and stuff like that, then having to turn to Patrick when you have Evan Bush, right? I think everybody was questioning why would he go for somebody who They just drafted, hasn't had a lick of MLS experience over a veteran who's played X amount of years in the league, knows how the league is run, etc. I think that's why they maybe judged him at first, because if you're turning to a young guy against a very strong Philadelphia team, what are you doing? Like, what's your thinking there, as opposed to there's a veteran who can easily be thrown in net and hopefully come up with a result. And then I think as time progressed on, right, we see how he plays his football, his mindset on substitutions and all that fun stuff. I mean, people complain online, and it's mostly Crew fans complain online about, you know, substitutions and stuff like that. But it's like, it's you can be a Twitter coach all you want, but until you have a license to, you know, kind of be in those shoes of, in the green trainers of Wilfried Nancy, then I mean, everything they say is just taken with a grain of salt. You kind of just have to trust the actual guy
Process.
who, yeah, well, yeah, you actually, in that, and also have to trust the guy who is, you know, doing all the prep work the week leading up to a game, and instead of being one of those people who work a 9 to 5 and whatnot. And no offense, Derek, if you work a 9 to 5, you're a great guy. Where
I don't pretend to know half the mechanisms of tactical management, so no offense.
So,
I'm working 9 to 5.
no offense to you guys, but it's, instead of, you know, just being those keyboard warriors, as people say, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I felt for the guy, you know, when people were in his first year and people were kind of dogging him, and after we lose a game. I mean, there's no way in hell that a team can go 34-0 unless you're Inter Miami and you're secretly, you know, I don't know, putting
Buy-in wins.
underneath the table and whatnot. Not saying that they do, by the way, so you guys can relax and whatnot. But I felt for the guy, and so I feel for him right now, quite honestly. I mean, he got dealt a rough hand, and to be fair, this is also one of the very most poor Celtic squads in all of history of Celtic. So trying to get the best out of these guys, I mean, they're not that much older than their Crew squad. I mean, they're probably in their prime, hitting late 20s, early 30s. You know, they're kind of winding down a little bit, maybe, but I mean, to get the best out of these guys, I mean, he's got to figure out what works and stuff like that. And if you're a player at Celtic, you kind of have to, you know, take mental notes, right? You've played the game long enough. Know when to make a run towards an empty space. Know when people are overlapping. Know how to pass a ball. I mean, I watched a little bit of the Roma game, and they looked good, but it was just very poor defensively.
Sound like Man United right there.
Man, I've lived through the last, well, what is this, 25, 10, the last 13 years as a Man U fan. It's been shambolic.
But you probably became a Man U fan because of the success that they did have way back when, though, right?
Truth be told, I turned on the TV one day and it was Man U, Man City. And I kind of liked, I knew of Man U, but it was more so just by watching them on TV. The success was kind of a plus, but I think I just fell in love with Man U, just the way that they played. And Fergie, the game that I watched was actually Wayne Rooney's bicycle kick against City.
Wayne Rooney, that's what I was thinking of earlier. When I said Steven Gerrard, Wayne Rooney was also the one I was thinking of. Wild aside, but just came to me. I needed to say it out loud.
Yeah. And it was that game, and I would watch them more and more, and I just kind of fell in love with how they played and whatnot. So, and I will say I was kind of spoiled with the whole success thing under Sir Alex Ferguson, but like,
Weren't we all?
dog, it's been dreadful watching these last 13 years of Man U soccer and us not winning hardly anything.
Doesn't help that Man City has billions of dollars of
Yeah, that too.
a very specific type of money that
Yeah.
they're able to spend apparently. But yeah, I mean, I totally get it. Maybe that's how Celtic fans feel right now in like a rough stretch where they're like, we're used to so much success that like we can't bear the idea of not being number one right now. Or I also think though that like so we just went through it. A lot of fans have unreasonable expectations on their team right now and our
Yeah.
fan base, at times at least. But I feel like we, as Crew fans, primarily anybody who is like reading enough about like him as a coach when he came in, we're fairly like under the impression that he has a very specific system. When it comes in, it's not just going to be overnight. We had immediate success, fantastic, but I don't think that's realistically how it's supposed to go. I mean, it worked out really well for us with great players. I mean, it all kind of all the pieces fell together. It felt like from the jump, the Celtic fans were just like anti-Nazi, like from the get-go, because he came from MLS and clearly they don't view us as a very good league or something, and didn't care to learn about what type of a system and stuff he would bring into this team overall. And for, I would imagine, their ownership, I would imagine you wouldn't just go get somebody, you would know these things to where it's a little bit longer of a like implementation to get to where they ultimately want to be sustainably. And I just think that like even if they knew that, they were not educating their fan base very well perhaps on that type of thing. But at the same time, really, every time I see these headlines, I just think like, why did he make that decision? Why did he choose to go there? Like all of the rumblings, even before he signed anything with them, their fans, it was really crazy. And then they were taking over that meeting with the front office and stuff. And I don't know, it just seems like I get why you would want to go somewhere and get your name out there more and elevate yourself from a visibility standpoint. But with all of those things there, where they're not any other options, or even if you waited another year, could there have been other options? I mean, I don't remember, somebody said it that like we wanted to have additional like contract discussions with him about extending him in the summer, and he kind of just broke them off. So like clearly, and we heard about rumors of them being interested back then. So clearly then they kind of caught his eye, and he just was locked in is the best way to put it. Now, who knows? I love Nancy still. Like, I wish he didn't go there and do all that. But at the same time, I mean, that was a decision he made. But it all is just really mystifying, honestly. I haven't seen anything quite like it in a while, especially the closest thing I can honestly think of that may be close to this is when Berhalter left here and went to Team USA, and that type of it kind of mirrors that a little bit, because Berhalter had a very specific system and stuff. They gave him a long time to do it. It didn't work out. But I mean, even then from the jump, you had all the USA national team fans just like going nuts. They wanted Berhalter out pretty much started before he even signed on the dotted line, it felt like. And him having a really specific system that we all knew from being Columbus Crew fans. And it's the same type of thing. It just was, people were negative on it. And unless you go and win a really big championship or something, people are not gonna, get on board. And he had success. I mean, even someone like him, he had success against Mexico, and people didn't care. So I don't know. It's just a little bit weird.
I don't think it was more or less anti-Nazi coming in. I think it was more or less the anti-Celtic board. Right. And I
Yeah.
think they feel like they should have given O'Neal the rest of the season
Yeah.
before bringing in Nancy.
But
Right.
see, now that's where the hard part comes in for us crew fans, right? Because we're not on the same schedule as European soccer. If
Yeah.
Nazi were to take over in their off season, he's leaving us in the middle of our season with, all right, what else are we doing? Because if now that we're getting on the same schedule, it would make more sense for Nazi to take over in 27, because then he'd have a full preseason and everything with these players to get these things across, which is what he had in Columbus. But I agree with Joe. They're all pro sack the board. I just feel like Nazi's getting the short end of the stick because they're mad at the board for not taking care of the club. Meanwhile, you have a manager who has lost 4 straight. The first time a Celtic manager has lost 4 straight since 1978, by the way, since taking over.
Wow, really? Holy cow.
The first, I think it's actually the first time Celtic lost 4 straight in a row in general since 1978.
Ooh,
yeah.
I didn't know that.
So now you have this on top of it, and now it's like, who do we direct our anger to? Do we direct our anger towards the board for not taking care of the club, or do we direct our anger towards the manager for not producing results? All in all, they're getting everything because they kind of work hand in hand with one another.
It's easier to get mad at the manager too, because you feel like as a fan, if you have a voice, that you may be able to pressure them into making a move on that side of it, because you're probably not pressuring them to sell the team. I mean, that has worked. We would know about that. However, I don't think that's realistic for most people. So he's the easier target, or the easier way to make yourselves heard is by, and frankly, the results certainly don't help. It's just unfortunate, but makes it easier for them to be mad at him too.
Yeah, it does. But hey, I mean, you already left the club. I don't see. He said, "Bring me back."
No, I think.
I think we've kind of.
That bridge has already been burnt.
Yeah.
I
wouldn't say burnt.
I think you'll have some people who would harbor some negative feelings about it still. I don't see a lot of chatter about that, I will say, but I think that there would certainly be some people that are like, dude, what? You left us to go over there and now you're coming back here? Like, I don't know that I would feel that way by any means, but I could see maybe some people feeling that way.
Yeah.
I would.
You'd feel that way?
This is why I would. You say you left to take on a new challenge, right? And this is a whole different beast than what he's used to, right? And he made the comment that, about, I'll sack my own self.
Should never say that.
So it's just like there's a little bit of arrogance there, and him knowing that Columbus doesn't have a head coaching job right now, he's like, if you guys want me gone, if nothing else, I'll leave on my own terms, and come back to the States and be like, hey, Issa, so what's going on with that? Thinking that he would be back. I feel, and this is me, I feel it's time for the team and the club to a new face, new tactics. Because it was apparent this year that Nancy did not evolve his tactics when it came to some of these teams that have figured out how to play Nancy's system.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all the low blocks, all the, you know, pretty much doing what Nancy does, but it's those counters. You know, it's the quick transition, right? And we saw our defense dropped. You know, our defensive production dropped, you know, this past season from where it was from 23 and in 24. You know, so I think I think it's time for a new direction in the club when it comes to who's leading the charge and the style. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
Now,
I don't
I'm not
disagree with that
against
at all.
him getting a statue when he does decide to hang up his clipboard, you know, his whiteboard and whistle. Um, I'm not opposed to, you know, the club putting him in, you know, the circle of honor here. But right now, you sort of left the team in turmoil, and then you go over there, didn't make it over there. Now you come back here. I'm sorry, but I can't I can't see you coming back.
Yeah, I'd agree.
I don't even think if he were to be sacked by Celtic, I don't even think he would want to come back himself, because it's not really evolving his career, if that makes sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's one thing to kind of be like Greg Berhalter, right? Coach Columbus, go to the national team, doesn't work out, come back to MLS, maybe get a little bit more success under your belt in a growing league, and then try your talents elsewhere, right? If you start in MLS, go to Europe, you're kind of taking a step backwards, right? Because I think we can all agree here that European football is merely getting touched by MLS as of right now.
Oh,
in
yeah.
any type of European football, whether it's, you know, lower league, non-league, or, you know, top flight, it's just not getting touched by MLS as of right now. That's kind of diminishing your career, right? Now you could be like, can't think of the manager's name. You could go from like MLS to Europe, to another European club, and kind of prove your worth there before kind of, you know, hitting your prime and coaching and then coming back to MLS. But I mean, even that wouldn't be a wise move, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, there probably is a team out there that would hire Nancy in MLS if he were to come right back.
Mm-hmm.
There's, you know, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
I don't even know who that team would be.
There aren't many left without a coach at this point, if I am thinking correctly on that.
Does RSL have a coach? Yeah, I'm not sure. Did Pablo resign? I think so. I can't think of one off the top of my head. I mean, Red Bull's got their guy. New York City has their guy. DC has St. Louis has their guy now. DC
hired someone, I thought.
DC has, I just don't know who. I can't remember.
New England's got their guy.
Yeah, man.
KC doesn't have one yet.
I thought they did.
Oh, I don't think they do.
I thought they did.
I thought they got their, sporting director.
Probably.
Time to Google.
Well, friends, while they're Googling, don't forget our Wisemen merch store is officially open, and we have hoodies, tees, hats, mugs, stickers, all designed for supporters who want something clean, bold, and unapologetically black and gold. Hit the link in the episode description or on our pinned tweet on Twitter. Check out the shop and pick up something you'll actually want to wear on match day. Again, that's the Wiseman Say merch store. Gear for the supporters, made by supporters, powered by Fourth Wall.
Great read again, by the way.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
I can't find the answer to this.
No, they do not have a head coach. They parted ways with their interim head coach, Kerry Zavanin.
Maybe that's what I was thinking of.
I know they have a good fan base, but I can't think that is a better landing spot for any of these coaches out here than Columbus, right?
I mean, Kansas City's looking at Rafa Wiki.
That answers my question.
I remember seeing that somewhere.
He's one of the 3 finalists.
Huh, interesting. Really quick, boys. Last thing to talk about: the Columbus Crew participating in Leagues Cup.
Yeah, they have us ranked like 16th or 17th.
Oh, with those rankings? I didn't realize that.
And we're competing in the Open Cup.
Which one would you want more, Leagues Cup or Open Cup?
Open Cup, 100%.
Oh, now Open Cup for sure.
Yeah.
Asked me like 2 years ago, I probably would have been convinced it was Leagues Cup, but we won it. So
yeah.
And frankly, I mean, I think we talked about this at the beginning of last year when we were talking about all these tournaments and how everyone goes nuts over Open Cup, especially like the day one fans. So now's the time. Go for it. Might as well.
Hey, maybe I can hit up my contact and write for the Open Cup again.
There you go. I'd love to get one of those like
Detroit.
Yeah, one of those super random teams. Well, they never end up playing here though, right? We always have to go to their places.
We went to Detroit.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Fuck them bastards.
We also went to
the worst video
Pittsburgh.
Quality of a game you could ever
Hey,
imagine.
that Pittsburgh Riverhound one, that was pretty cool.
We also went to Pittsburgh.
I would like to go to if we played Pittsburgh again, I think that'd be a fun one to go to.
Yeah.
Detroit, absolutely not.
Yeah, no. Yeah. I mean, hell, just Detroit in general is a bad city.
Yep.
My word. Yeah, we haven't won the Open
state.
Cup in 23 years, so I would like the Open Cup.
Yeah.
So.
And we don't have to be in the CONCACAF, whatever the heck it is.
The Champions Cup?
I'm not going to pay attention to a single second of that unless we're talking about it on here. Then I'll make sure.
We'd be in the Champions Cup if we won Open Cup.
Next year, 2027.
Yeah, I mean like this year. Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, thank God we're not in that. Holy hell. I don't think I can handle.
If we can't win Open Cup, I want it to be one of these, a super random team, and then they get to play in that tournament.
Could you imagine,
That'd be awesome.
Could you imagine, like, Indy 11 being in CONCACAF Champions Cup?
Indy 11 wants to be in MLS, so, I mean, they're going to put their best foot forward in that tournament for sure.
Oh, man.
What about the burrito team?
Yeah, I was just
El Farolito. That's
the team. That's the team I want to. If we can't win Opens Cup, that's the team I want to win Opens Cup.
El Farolito versus Monterrey in Mexico Champions Cup final. My word,
it would be incredible.
What in that? Oh my God! Yeah, and then next thing you know, if they win it, they're all in the locker room slamming on some burritos. Like, my word. Match congestion, right? Like, we have to consider match congestion at this point, right? I get it, we get a break for the World Cup, but
August is rough. August is really rough.
MLS, Open Cup, Leagues Cup, like
I would say right now, I'm going to try to remember this at the beginning of the season. If we have a really rough stretch in August, we need to keep that at the front of our mind about the congestion, because it feels like every season, I don't know about Nancy's first season, but like even with Porter, Berhalter, Nancy recently, you can almost guarantee there is going to be a really bad stretch of games, whether it's ties or losses in a season. And you just hope that it's not the end of the season, because that has a much bigger impact. But August just looks like the one that's going to be running the gauntlet and probably losing more than we're winning.
I think it's more or less. I'm not going to say conditioning wise, but it's more or less on being smart when it comes to your lineups and your subs.
Yeah. Let's not trot out everybody who usually sits on the bench during the Open Cup, though. That does annoy me, I will say. I get why we do it, because it's not as important as the regular season technically. However, to put a little more effort into getting some of our stars out there.
Don't let the day ones hear you say that, because man, they will go to war.
They're going to win all of them. Yeah, they want the first team, the entire first team.
Yeah. I mean, we want absolute balls to the wall. We want 27 rounds of PKs.
No, the fuck we don't.
You don't like chaos in the Open Cup. I can tell.
It's always chaos though until it gets to the end. Then it's usually just MLS teams.
Yeah, it's like, what the hell.
And Sergey Boyko has to ref the U.S. Open Cup final.
No,
now come on now. No, what's his face will come out of retirement.
They won't use pro referees. They'll use regional referees. Because who was it? One of the referees who referees a lot of ODU games was the Senate referee for when Crew 2 was in the Open Cup, I believe.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Did we win that game?
I think so.
Was it against the Bankers of Long Island?
Yes.
The New York Renegades?
Yeah.
If MLS and USL were anything like college football, they would have found out that guy was regionally from Ohio and just doxed him and went nuts online.
Oh my God, I remember that year. I remember that during COVID. Oh no, it was during the lockout. It was during the pro lockout. God, it was Orlando and Miami, and this guy was this guy had a picture of was it an Orlando kid or a Miami kid or something like that? I can't remember. But I remember, that was a huge deal. That was like a huge thing that blew up.
Or
and
they had who did the Messi jersey. Remember the ref that this was probably for
the Leagues Cup game against KC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. I mean, it's the day of the internet. I mean, people will find out these types of things and see it and snap photos and the whole 9 yards.
I mean,
that'll be interesting. I mean, I understand using regional for it versus prone.
The whole thing with Tim Ford, right? He was supposed to do an LAFC game, and it was against Vancouver. I think it was last year, and people dug up he had gone to an LAFC game with his family, and his son was wearing an LAFC shirt. Yeah,
that stuff always makes me laugh because it's like, it's a kid. What do you expect? Like, come on.
Man.
But people are crazy.
I guess that's what happens when you put yourself in the limelight for running over a Whitecaps player the year before in the playoffs. My word. True. Well, boys, about that time. Anything else we want to hit on really quick?
Chicago has now put Lewandowski on their discovery rights.
Really?
Yep. And Timo Werner, we might see him in MLS. We might not.
I saw his name floating around.
So,
I'm sure we'll have a discussion if we're going to do one next week, since it'll be Christmas Eve and all that. But I'm sure there'll be news to come.
I can give you my answer on that now. I do not.
I was going to say.
I'm open to close that day at work.
Oh, shoot. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I think my mom is off that day, so I kind of want to spend some time with her.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
maybe if there's
Merry
like news on a
Christmas.
new coach or something, we can do like a different day.
Yeah, for sure.
An emergency podcast.
Yeah. But who knows? I don't anticipate that being the case. Over the holiday, but stranger things.
You never know. We might get
Merry Christmas, crew fans. Jim Curtin has just signed on to be the new coach.
That'd get people fired up. I'd be okay with that.
I'd be very okay with that, quite honestly. Anything else?
Nope. Let's rock it.
Well, my friends, this has been fun as always. We want to thank you guys for tuning in. If you are watching on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button, turn on post notifications, click the bell so whenever we go live or post new content, you get notified. You guys can follow us on. Oh, and thank you. If you guys are listening all the way through on audio, please make sure to rate the show, leave a comment on any preferred podcast platform. You guys can follow us on social media on Instagram at the Wisemen Say Podcast, on Twitter at Wisemen Pod, on Blue Sky at the Wisemen Say Pod, at Wisemen, the Wisemen Say Podcast.bsky.social. You guys can follow Jerald on social media
at Jerald_Lucas96.
You guys can follow Derik on social media
at Funky Moses 17.
You guys can follow me on social media at Fisher Tyler __. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Don't forget, merch store is open for all you fans who want to rep some Wisemen Say podcast merch. And also, once we get everything lined up, we do also offer membership tiers for the podcast. We've got 4 tiers starting as low as $3 a month, and every single one of them comes with legit perks. Check that out. Also, the same place where you can buy your merch store gear at. And that's it. So, once again, thank y'all for tuning in. Without you guys, this podcast would not be possible. And Jerald, my friend, as tradition goes, Wisemen Say,
only fools rush in.
Peace out, everybody. Have a good week. Stay safe, stay hydrated, stay cool. Hug your loved ones. Make sure that you guys focus on any and everything else besides whatever it is that profile picture is. And go crew.
Go crew.
Vamos, stay wise, yo.